Where is the third level? Animals. So that is how we start talking of animal consciousness. So, can you figure out what do you mean by animal consciousness? Ahara, nidra, maithun, bhayam. So, we talk about 4 basic instincts of animals. Need for safety, need to sleep, need for food, and for self-preservation or sexual pleasure. Are you with me, Brittany?
I am, yes.
Yes. So, lowest level, matter. Second level, evolution, matter plus life, plant kingdom. Third level, matter plus life plus consciousness, animal kingdom. Now, matter plus life plus consciousness. Should I add plus self-consciousness, human being? So, you got the answer? Human beings have self-consciousness. Animals do not have it. Say, for example, if the tiger has the self-consciousness, then they will see you and they will tell, oh, Whitney seems to be very tasty. I have to reorganize and I have to put her into. Then you can complete the sentence. So what is the simple answer? We have the intellect that has a ability to observe, make a choice and control. Even plants have the consciousness. They do not have the necessary instruments. Animals have the consciousness. They do not have the intellect they observe, but they do not have an intellect to make a choice and to control. Did you get the answer?
I think so. I'm working on...
Think, listen to it again and again. Matters. You see the lowest level. Let me complete the entire yoga with this. Lowest level, matter, material kingdom. We say in yoga, sat. In English, we say existence. Clear? Now the evolution continued. You add a life into it. No, you didn't add, but existence added. So, matter plus life is plant kingdom. Right? Now the third level, matter plus life plus consciousness. This consciousness is equal to animal kingdom. Why? That is why we say animal kingdom, animal consciousness. 4 basic instincts. The tiger do not have a choice to become completely vegetarian until we force them. Why they don't have a choice? They don't have an intellect. They are not self-conscious being. We are self-conscious being. That is why I say I am a complete vegan. What you were eating before? I was a cannibal before. No, I'm just giving an example.
Okay, so I got that, and that's kind of what I thought, was that you have to know
that
you're suffering.
Yes, that very...
to overcome that.
Yeah, that very... That's what I thought. Yes, that very self-consciousness is absent. Another way to answer it.
So then...
Another way to answer it. How do you open your computer? You switch on the button and the window appears and then you connect to me. You don't do any hard work to connect to me. You simply click. Computer opens. You click again and we are in a virtual session. Why we say? Because it is programmed in the computer. Did you understand it? Now,
yes.
Animal consciousness is programmed by the nature. They do not have a choice because intellect is not there.
So then my other part of my question,
yeah,
talking about mind is working on, or you're working on the mind. So then obviously we're in the physical body. So then, I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to word the question, but would you say then that, if we've reached the ultimate enlightenment and like the ultimate taming of our mind, we wouldn't be held back by physical limitations for like sleep and food and chemical imbalance and things like that. You were talking about, if you're, if you're tired while we're talking, that's the mind controlling you, right? So then what you were saying then would be that, if we ultimately had complete control of our mind, we wouldn't be afflicted by physical needs. Is that accurate or no?
Two-part answer. First part, the body is a matter, so it should follow the laws of matter. First part. But if it doesn't follow the laws of a matter because the mind is ruling the matter, when the mind is ruling the matter because of identification and attachment, so yoga says, tell the mind, don't misuse the body. So when you don't misuse the body, then what happens? The body works with the material laws governing them in the best possible way. Having said that, when I say that this body follows the material law, it does not mean that you don't need food. But then the mind makes a right choice because now the mind is pure. The mind doesn't make a choice based on its attachment and clinging, but mind makes a right choice. What is the best for the body?
Okay.
You got it?
Thank you.
There are a lot
Yes,
of things. That's a good questions coming up. So let us continue our journey of Yoga Sutra. Yes, you are free to ask. Yoga Sutra commentator. I was discussing about Vyasa. Vyasa has written all the principles, all the sutras. And you see the beauty? Say, if two people, if I become the best-selling author, and then the John says how I should compete you. But that was not the case in the ancient times with our masters. Vyasa wrote all the principles, including what is written in the Yoga Sutra. And when Patanjali Yoga Sutra was written by the Patanjali, Vyasa said, wow, you have written only 195 formulas that covers everything of yoga, which is scattered in more than 3,000 texts. You have done a marvelous work. So Vyasa then was inspired, no, I have to write a commentary to make common people clear how Patanjali Yoga Sutra compressed all the entire knowledge of yoga, meditation, liberation, freedom, cause of suffering, mind, functional aspects of the mind, and a long list. So for two reasons, we must study the commentary by Vyasa, because he, in fact, is the originator. And then he praised and appreciated the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and then he gave the commentary. Do you see the beauty? So it means our intellect should be used to understand what Vyasa has commented on it, rather than we should find our own meaning. Right? So this Vyasa was a great master. Whether you say it is 195 or 196, we have some manuscripts found earlier, maybe 7 or 800 years back. There, some manuscript contains 196 sutras, and normally we say it contains 195 sutras. Did I cover? There are 4 chapters of freedom. We discussed before there are 4 chapters of the freedom. The first chapter is known as Samadhi Pada. Pada means chapter. Samadhi means the highest state of mind meditation. So he did not beat about the bush here and there. No, let me guide you first asana. A lot of people say, no, I have been practicing asana for how long? 15 years. Why? To prepare myself for meditation. Does that make sense? I have been practicing asana for 15 years. Why I'm preparing myself for meditation. No, I'm totally obsessed, identifies with my body. And yoga says, de-identify yourself with the body is the way of yoga. It doesn't mean that you are not practicing asana. You are doing it, but there is no identification. So the first chapter covers all about mind, how to enter into the meditation, what exactly is the meditation, how to become a seeker, what exactly is the real self, how you progress into meditation, what are the obstacles and hindrances in the path of the meditation. First chapter. The second chapter. Second chapter explains, I told you, Kriya Yoga and 8-limbed path. Kriya Yoga, how many limbs? Only 3. Tapaswadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. I'm completing, I have already written a textbook commentary on this Yoga Sutra, but I'm redrafting and editing it. So it will be available maybe after 2 or 3 months. Not to become a bestseller. I'm writing for myself, my own satisfaction. So, second chapter, as I have explained you, it covers the 2 different approaches of yoga. So it means Patanjali explains the 3 different approaches to yoga. First chapter, come on, start with the highest level of yoga. Second, you have a lot of challenges with your mind, emotions. Whitney, I'm answering that question in a different way. So you have a lot of challenges, do Kriya Yoga first, and then go into meditation. Remove all the kleshas, suffering. No, I don't understand what you are saying. Start with yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. I want to give another answer by asking a question. Why it is so that there are 50 students of one teacher, one student succeeds instantly in meditation, second finds little calmness and relaxation, and the other do not find any result? Because they who do not find any result, they have to follow the 8-limbed path. Those who succeeded a little bit, they have to understand Kriya Yoga. And those who succeeded, they are understanding the first chapter, the first pada. Did you get it? So the third chapter explains, Bethany, for you specifically, what are the extraordinary changes takes place in the mind by regular practice of yoga, and how to bring about extraordinary changes in the mind by doing a specific practice of meditation. Third chapter. And the fourth chapter, more or less, it covers what exactly is awakening, what exactly is nirvana, what is moksha, means enlightenment, what it is. How these seekers who achieve that state and how they live, how they talk, how they work. Whitney, are you listening? Your previous questions are answered.
Yes, thank you.
So you see that? So we are sutra. I think I've covered a lot on sutras. So let me. The first chapter contains 51 sutras. First chapter contains 51 sutras. Let me and pay attention every time, even if I miss this process, tell me you are missing this process, explain it again. So Patanjali, I don't remember the number of the sutra, and once I remember I'll tell you. But he explains Shabd Arth Jnana. He says Shabda means word in the sutra, Arth means meaning, and Jnana means knowledge. So he says you have to understand, first you have to know how to recite this sutra. Means singing and the listening, those words should vibes in your ears. Word. Second, we should know the meaning. But third, we should know what is that knowledge hidden in that Yoga Sutra. How beautiful. How beautiful. I translate the entire because, it's a little deeper. I translate that into 5I. First is information. Second is inspiration. Third is interaction. Fourth is implementation, means practice. Fifth is the insight. When you practice meditation, then you get a deeper insight. Oh, this is it. Insight is non-verbal communication of the mind. Why it is non-verbal? At a higher state of the consciousness, the mind doesn't work with the words and the thoughts and thinking. It works directly with the higher consciousness. You get a glimpse, you get a flash, you get an insight.
Girish, will you please repeat those 5?
Information, inspiration, interaction, implementation, insight. That's how I take it.
Thank you.
So, in a modern way. Process is the same, but I'm just giving the modern way, and even if you teach others, that will make a sense to them. Because, the old Sanskrit words and the phrases may not make a sense. Clear? So let us move further with 51 sutras. Interaction, the seeker. Yes, that also. J. Krishnamurti. Are you aware of J. Krishnamurti? A lot of these so-called teachers who teaches choiceless awareness, What they teach, something, here and now. What is that? Here and now. So all they are the, I would say they might have read J. Krishnamurti, who teaches about choiceless awareness. But he made one big. Yes. J. Krishnamurti was one of the great teachers. And when he reached to the state of enlightenment, then he rejected the authority of yoga because he realized if he says to himself that if I talk about yoga, people will continue to misunderstand. So he never came down from his level of enlightenment. And he always talked of the choiceless awareness. So he spoke one thing. Once you reach to the enlightenment, then you always walk alone. Now, do you misunderstand this phrase, walk alone? You are living in the material world with people, with relations, with everyone, but internally, nothing touches you. How it is possible? You stand before the mirror and get out of the mirror. Does the mirror keeps your impression, keeps your image, keeps the weight of your body? Are you understanding? You stand before the mirror. You see your image. Clear? Brandy, do you see the weight, your weight of the body in the mirror? What? Do you see the weight also in the mirror? Mirror does not carry any weight, any size, any color. You get out of sight of the mirror. Mirror says, I'm okay. Can I reach to that state of the mind? Whitney, can you reach to that state of the mind? One way to understand what exactly is enlightenment. You are working with everything as it is. No worries. But the quality of your thought, your speech, your action changes. So we say it brings an end to the suffering. We'll continue to talk about it. So before going to again the sutra, we should understand a couple of more things, the basics. Traditionally, in all he or she is also listening from me, Yoga Sutra. Perhaps she will also got enlightenment. So we don't say philosophy, as it is known as philosophy. We use the word darshan. Darshan. What is that darshan means? Darshan means right perception. Darshan. Not philosophy. Yes, darshan, or we may write it like this, darshan. That would be appropriate, darshan. Why darshan? Darshan, another meaning of the darshan is to make you understand knowing self by self. Now, remember and recall, sense organs are the instruments of knowledge to know the material world. Mind is an instrument of knowledge to know the phenomena of the material world, where the science and its knowledge comes. And then what I said before, Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge to transcend the mind, to know the self. So what is darshan? Knowing the self by the self. Knowing your real self by the self. Not by the sense organs in the mind. That is what is known as darshan. Now what is philosophy? It is the love of logic, love of reason, love of intellect. So entire philosophical knowledge in the Western world comes from intellect. Darshan comes from what is beyond intellect. That is why we use the word darshan. So yog darshan, we say yog darshan. We don't say yog philosophy. Are you getting it? Darshan. Darshan. When you close all your sense organs, is it possible to know that you are here? Even if you close your eyes, you know you are here. You feel that presence, isn't it? So we don't need sense organs to know I am. Are you clear? Even if you don't say any word, you don't speak any word through the mind, still you know you are. Isn't it? Still you know you are. That you are is the real self. Discovery of that you is the journey of yoga. So here we go opposite to a great philosopher who said, I think, therefore I am. It is a silly and a crazy statement. Because the entire philosophy in the West is based on the intellect. So in that reference he is right. I think. First I have to think, then I am. No. First I am, then I think. Isn't it? So, Whitney, you have to find, without thinking, is there I am or not? Then you will understand the difference between the working of consciousness in the animal and the human. So when we say darshan, you understand that? Now darshan, and understand, it is a right perception. One, and it is a direct perception. I'm summarizing all in a different, in the first 2 or 3 sessions, and then we will pick up sutra by sutra, so that you have a very strong background to understand. Now another meaning of darshan. It is experiential. What does it mean by direct perception? I am seeing you, John. Is it direct perception? I am seeing you, Brandy. Is it direct perception? No. My sense organs, mind going through the sense organ, have an indirect perception of you, because a sense organ have come in between. Are you getting it? And the mind has come in between. Now get rid of the sense organ, get rid of the mind. Consciousness will remain there. And that consciousness, when it sees Brandy, the Brandy becomes me. I become Brandy. I become Lara. Lara becomes me. Kate becomes me. It does not become me. I see there is only one consciousness pervading everywhere. Are you getting it? Brandy, name, form, gender. Who perceives it? Sense organ. Who understands its mind? Now there is no sense organ, there is no mind, but still consciousness is there. But then there is no difference between consciousness here and there. There is no time, there is no place, there is no location. Is that the meaning of transcending the mind? Yes. Don't take it philosophically. Don't make it that it will come after 10 years of practice of meditation. It is already here and now. Am I a seeker? I'm crazy, so I'm making your mind also crazy to go deeper. See that? This is the real meaning of darshan. So now you understand the philosophy and darshan. We have yoga darshan, we have sankhya darshan, we have sankhya darshan. Sankhya darshan, you can claim it jnana yoga, the path of knowledge of yoga. We have bhakti darshan, we have knowledge of yoga of love, bhakti darshan, yoga of knowledge, sankhya yoga, or we sometimes say uttar mimamsa. Are you getting it? That is the biggest difference. And once we do not understand that difference, so every sutra, every principle points to that direct perception. So now see the other part, just to cover a brief and then we will continue. Now we have a direct perception. So for the sake of communication, convenience, I see only for the sake of communication and language, interaction in the material world, I say you are Kate, you are there and I am here. But internally I experience constantly, consciously, that we both are essentially one. Timelessness in time. Beyond the name and the form. So then if you say Buddha is full of compassion, you are wrong. But it is in a language we say it, but otherwise you are wrong. Why you are wrong? When I see you, there is no difference between you and me. How can I hurt you? When the tongue is hurt by the teeth, you don't bring a hammer. I will teach you a lesson. So then there is an overflowing of that love because we are not two. How can your right hand hurt the left hand? No way. Why? Because we experience that oneness, one reality. And it comes by darshan. And that is why we use the word darshan. But every time you should use the word philosophy, but keep in your mind that you are pointing something deeper. That is why I cover this word darshan. Yeah, let me pick up one more principle. Remember 4H. Do you know the Four Noble Truths? Of Buddhism? Four Noble Truths. There is a dukkha, there is a suffering, yeah? There is a cause of the suffering, there is an absence of suffering, and there is a method. Right? Right? Remember 4H. 4H coming from the Eastern wisdom which Buddha has modified. So why I say 4H? You will find these 4 words frequently in Patanjali. So what is the first word? Heya. Heya means what is suffering. Hetu, what is the cause of the suffering. Han, what is the absence of suffering. Hanupaya. Vivek khyati viplava hanupaya in the second sutra. So what he says, when the mind lives in the highest state of discernment and dispassion, what happens? That is the method to bring an end to all the suffering. So I'm using the 4th word, 4th H, hanopaya. Here, what is suffering? Hetu, what is the cause of the suffering? What is the absence of suffering is Han. So what is the method? Hanopaya. These 4 principles are everywhere. Almost directly or indirectly you will find in majority of the text, including Patanjali. One I instantly remember, Vivek Khyatir Viplava Hanopaya. Hanopaya means method. So what is the method? He says, when the mind lives in the highest state of discernment and dispassion. That is the method. So what is discernment? Discernment in yoga, in Eastern wisdom, we say viveka. And dispassion, we say avairagya. Do you see this beard guy is different and separate from you? Obviously, you see that separation at the physical level. That is how you communicate. That is how you become the listener and I become the speaker. So that separation, when our mind separates through knowledge and understanding, that is known as discernment. The word is used viveka by the Patanjali in the 2nd chapter and also in the 3rd chapter. He also uses frequently. These words, he uses frequently. Heyam dukham anagatam. Heyam. Heya hetu. In the 2nd, that is perhaps the 16th sutra of the 2nd chapter. Heyam dukham anagatam. What he is saying. Yoga can avoid or eliminate sorrow and the suffering in the future if you practice yoga. If you practice headstand for 6 hours, all your sorrows will come to an end. No, it is important, but I'm not saying it is not. But you have to drop that wrong notion. Heyam dukham anagatam. It's a beautiful. When I sing it, I say, oh, this is yoga. And what is the cause of all the suffering? we will take it little deeper in our next week. This drashya drashyayo sanyogo heya hetu. What is the cause of the suffering? Cause of is identification. For you, when my mind identifies with the body, and I suffer. When my mind identifies with likes and dislikes, I suffer. When I build a strong ego, then I suffer. The reason for all the suffering is identification of the seer and the seen. Drashya drashyayo sanyogo heya hetu. No? So, I picked up these 4 words. That's why you'll find many. Tasya hetur avidya. So now, what is the cause of all the suffering? We will take it in a little deeper. Today we are going in a lighter mode. So Sutra number perhaps 24 or 25. So what is the cause of all the suffering? Tasya hetur avidya. The cause of identification is ignorance. You remove the ignorance and you live into that state of compassion, that state of peace, that state of happiness, which is already there. 24th, yeah. Second 20th. Tasya hetur avidya. And pick up a little also Hanam. So Hanam tad bhavat sanyoga bhavo Hanam tad drashe kaivalyam. So even in defining and explaining the state of enlightenment, Patanjali is using Hanam. Hanam means the absence, I told you. Tad bhavat sanyoga bhavo hanam tad drashe kaivalyam. When the seer and the seen are separated, after the removal of ignorance, nirvana or kaivalyam or enlightenment is attained. I will take it in a deep. So I'm just explaining how these 4 words are explained beautifully. You see now that is lacking in the philosophy or darshan of Buddhism. Because they are not frequently, they have just explained, these are the 4 noble truths. And then what happens? People forget this 4 noble truths and they say, focus on the breath, close your eyes, mindfulness is done, I am enlightened. That is not the way. That is not the journey. We have to follow step by step. Tad bhavat sanyogo, I think 24th or 25 is there. Maybe it's the sutra. So understanding heya. Heya means what is suffering, what is the cause of what is the suffering first. My honey is crazy and I start blaming my honey, but I am suffering. And my honey is enjoying a good sleep. My honey is not aware that I am blaming and complaining. Do you see that? This is yoga psychology. Now you go to a psychiatrist. Okay. Your honey was sleeping and when you are blaming, he's totally remorse, he doesn't have any feeling. You have to think of divorce. Now, I'm just citing an example. That is normally possible. Heyam dukham, yeah. Do you see that? So I'm pointing you, yoga is a study to study yourself. Simple answer. I have to study myself. Why I'm not happy? With you or without you? in both the cases. Am I happy with you? Because, Whitney, my mind is free from attachment and ignorance. I am happy without you because mind has no attachment. You asked me very interesting questions. So now let me know if you have questions until now. And then we will take a break for 15 minutes before we will meet with the Gita. Oh yeah, I have to give an introduction to Gita also. Yeah. So tell me if you have any question.
I have a question, Girish.
Yes.
So, I've heard it said in some of the study that I've had in the past in philosophy. Yoga philosophy.
Yeah.
Through Yoga Alliance, but in right that actually to study from the first pada for most people doesn't make sense. That actually beginning the study in the second pada for most people makes the sutras more accessible. Is that an accurate statement?
100% wrong statement. Because I'm not a seeker. We have a proverb, Bandar kya jane adrak ka swad. So I'm going to translate into English. Monkey is there. So how the monkey can know the taste of a ginger? You see the proverb? So proverb means if I do not know the goal of yoga, the ultimate goal of yoga, then I skip the first pada. And then I get caught in, and it is in Hindi, proverb is not in Sanskrit. I will write down. So you understand that? So, or you can say American proverb, ignorance is bliss. I suffer in that bliss. Or you can say a little knowledge is dangerous. Or you can say jack of all trades, master of none. Ask our Dr. Fauci to study Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So Fauci will make a sense only in the second pada because there are some physical practices explained. See that. But if I do not understand clearly what exactly Patanjali is saying in the very first chapter, how can I move to the second chapter? I'm not saying from my own. It is all about the journey.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Can I ask about that? Okay, so I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm not. However, sometimes if the mind is clouded, or if there's a suffering that's not necessarily can be assessed or accessed by the brain, or because there's suffering, there's knowledge is wrong. Can they access through the practice, and then the continued practice of mindfulness or meditation as laid out?
Yes. Understanding how the mindfulness is, what the mindfulness is, and then they should practice. You see that can the body demand consciously? Body is a matter. It is an unconscious entity. It is matter. So ultimately, we have to do anything first by knowledge. That I covered yesterday. First is the knowledge. Mind has a desire and body has an action. Three entities, roughly you can say. So first I must have a knowledge. Now do I have a right knowledge or not? So that right knowledge is given by Patanjali. Now I have a right knowledge. The mind has a lot of desire, the right knowledge and the wrong desire. So now the intellect understands, so here is the problem. Blame, complain game, I am blaming even if the other is 100% wrong. But my mind is complaining, it means mind has a desire.
I gotcha. But sometimes suffering is so acute that they can't access the mind.
That is why we have modern psychology. That is why we have modern medicine. That is the simple answer. I studied anxiety neurosis has 50 causes. Perhaps on WebMD. And the 52nd cause, the doctor says causes are unknown. Then why the hell you have written 51 causes? No, my simple question is, I'm not going against. It is helpful. It is remarkable. But when I'm a seeker, I have to find the ultimate cause. And now go to find the cause of a cancer. They will say died, this and that. And ultimately they say causes are still unknown.
No, hang on, one more question though. Because sometimes suffering person into a place of surrender, is that still the same, and so then they become a seeker only because the suffering is acute and they're surrendering. Is that this?
Yes. We talk about 4 types of seekers. 4 types of seekers. First, who are suffering and they say, can I get a remedy? Come on, do practice of meditation. They did it. They found relaxation and they are gone. They throw the yoga once they are relaxed. So they approached yoga because they were suffering. Second level of the seeker, they want to benefit from it. They have a desire sense with the yoga. It's the second level. Third level is academic. Let me understand. I will never practice, but now I understand yoga. I am still suffering. Third level. So they also do not change. They are also not the right seekers. And the fourth level, they do not only want to know, they want to practice, they want to reach to the ultimate reality. Morning that from where I should start Gita. So where should I start Gita? So lot of people will start origin of Gita, epic, blah blah. That you can read it in Google. You can make Google as your teacher. So he'll guide you to, Google will guide you to enlightenment. So but then I realized my master taught me in the very beginning 5-6 sutras, and one of them I like most. I remember all the time. So let us, this one which I have copied. So can you chant with me? Uddharet Atmana. Uddharet Atmana Atmanam So,
Do you want to,
yeah, call and response.
guys, unmute so we can do call and response?
Yeah.
I actually think it's distracting. Hopefully we can just kind of call and response because it's hard to hear the voices because it cuts out for me personally, but I'll just mute myself.
So let us start again so that you will remember that we have chanted this verse and then we will go to the meaning. It comes from the 6th chapter and the 5th verse. Uddharet Atmana
Atmana
Atmanam
Atmanam
No Atmanam
No Atmanam
Avasadait
Absade
Atma Aiva Hi Atmanah Atma Aiva Hi Atmanah
Atmanahi Atmanah
Bandhu
Bandho
Atma Aiva
Atma Aiv
Ripuhu Atmanah.
Ipo Atmanaha.
Now we will understand that will lay a strong foundation of Gita. Simple translation. I have added something more into that by the intellect, and in the bracket I have added by wisdom. Lift yourself. You should not degrade yourself and bring down. How you bring down and degrade yourself? By reaction, by blaming, by self-indulgence, by suppression, by attachment. I have put it into the text. So what he says, simple translation. And Brittany, now I can see you. Good. So by intellect, we should lift ourselves. That is why the first chapter of Yoga Sutra is extremely important. That is the message. So Krishna in the Gita gives the message directly. By intellect, we should lift ourselves. We should not degrade ourselves and bring down. By reaction, self-indulgence, suppression, attachment, blame, complaint, lot of things we will understand in life. For self with wisdom and personal effort is the friend. So if I say here the self is used, mind is my friend and mind is my enemy. You can make your mind your enemy. You can make your mind friend, provided you follow the wisdom. Mind is your. So now see that, how the commentator, one of the great commentator, I like if you want to buy, I have yet to write. So this is one of the most orthodox and the modern commentary of Gita. Gita by Swami Chinmayanand. So he never left the tradition and he has explained it in a modern way. That is the beauty. Otherwise, other masters which Kate has referred to me, which doesn't appear to be, because I can pick out, he is not explaining based on the. So now see that. First, every couplet has 4 parts. 2 line, 4 parts. So why 4 parts? Every part give you one message. That is a normal trend of a verse. No? Gita means poetry, poem. So they follow the meters. You already know. Writing a poetry, you have to follow the meters, you have to follow the lot of stuff. So same way here. So, but main thing is there. What is the main thing? Yeah. Main thing is there that every couplet in the Gita has 4 parts, 2 lines, 4 parts, 2 lines. First line, 2 messages, and second lower line, 2 messages. So let us pick up the first line. Atmana Atmanam Uddharet. Atma. So that is the first line. So what it means? Lift yourself. Evolve self by the self. Atmanam. So Krishna uses a cryptic language. You can say, our messages are uncrypted. Are crypted or uncrypted. Why told you? Knowledge of the Eastern wisdom is a royal secret. But it is an open secret for the seeker. And it remains closed for others. Why my picture? Do you see all pictures? Can you see? Yeah, maybe because of internet connection. So you can just. So, what did I say? That cryptic language, open secret. So what he did he used the word self for the mind, for the intellect. Yes, for the intellect. Yeah, I have done it. I have already put it. So he has used the word for the self, for the mind, for the intellect. Now we will understand. Atmana Atmanam Uddharet. Senses are powerful that take away the mind. Mind is powerful that take away the intellect. And intellect that takes away the wisdom or right perception. What he is saying. Can you make out? Simple meaning that, say for example, I like that table lamp of net. I see that. I see the 3 mat behind the John. I like it. So when I say I like it, what it means? The mind likes it. How the mind likes it? Through the sense organ. So when the mind likes it, when the mind likes it, then what happens? The mind continues to think about it. The thinking causes the desire. And that desire takes away the wisdom. That desire in the mind says to the intellect, I am not listening to you. So what Master is saying? Lift yourself by yourself. So here the self is the intellect. Now I follow the tradition. What you have taught me, that's why I am listening to you and I agree. Why should you agree? Where is your intellect? Are you not a human being? So Master Krishna is hammering all of us. Why you are suffering? No, I don't want to think I am suffering because you make me suffer. You are responsible. Don't you have an intellect? So, Atmana Atmanam Uddharet. By the intellect, who has studied the principles of Eastern wisdom, should lift the mind and the sense organs, which is engaged in liking, attachment, detachment. Are you getting it? Are you understanding? I picked up this verse. I always love it. The moment I have any challenge and I say, I have to lift because I am suffering. So if I lift myself, and what I have to do? I have to sit with eyes closed. I have to find out He Hetu Han Hanopaya. Do you remember? We just covered. You see? Hey, what is the cause of the suffering? Because you rejected me, because you disagreed with me. That is the nature of the world. Why should I get carried away? So the first word is what? First phrase is Atmana Atmanam Uddharet. Right personal effort is required in the mind first. My intellect should be clear with the right knowledge. Then only I can practice even asana. Why should I jump into the second pada? First I should have a right knowledge. Same way, Master is saying you have to work through your intellect. Right personal effort. And that right personal effort begins with intellect. I have to understand. I have to get a right knowledge. So after the right knowledge, now going to the second one. Atmanam na avasadait. Krishna is pleading. Look at it. He is the originator of yoga. He is pleading to all of us. Pleading is requesting. With folded hand, he said, Atmanam no avasadait. Please, for God's sake, don't degrade yourself. Don't go down. Don't involve or degrade your life, yourself. How we degrade ourselves? You are responsible for my problem. I enter into likes and dislikes. Pain and the suffering comes only when I degrade myself. Don't downgrade. So he is making a fun of ourselves also. How we downgrade ourselves. We stop thinking. We become animal. We start working through our animal mind. You see that, Whitney? I'm answering all your questions that you have asked me before. All these answers will come. Please, for God's sake, don't degrade yourself. He is pleading, Atmanam na avasadayet. Don't degrade or don't go down. Don't involve or degrade yourself. There are a lot of meanings that I will cover later. Then the third meaning, third line, Hi atma aiva atmanah bandhu. Understand what he says. Understand. So understanding comes from the intellect. So here the self is used for the intellect. He says, no, I follow the tradition. What tradition? My father was suffering from stress, so therefore I am also suffering from stress. So here we oppose the modern psychologists. Do you have intellect? Come on. Can you think? No, it is inherited tendencies by nature. I become angry. Really? By nature, the tiger eats flesh. They cannot change. So Krishna is making a fun. Do you have intellect? Can you think? Can you think? So after thinking, can you make a choice? Yes. Be a human being. Hi atma aiva atmanah bandhu. So he is clearly hinting the mind is your friend. Self can be your best friend. Mind can be, means the intellect can be your best friend. And it can be your worst enemy in your life. There is no enemy outside. There is no friend outside. That is the summary of yoga. You know why I am speaking like this? I know you will not tell me, but I can understand what will go into your mind. You start thinking, oh, I have been blaming and complaining others. Stop this. Let me start thinking. Then you will become a seeker. Otherwise, you can study Gita from any text. Google is the highest teacher. Gita in daily life. Gita in daily life. Otherwise, you can study. You are more intelligent than me. You can study and you can talk. So you see that? Mind is the greatest enemy and the mind is the worst enemy. So one word, mind is used. So mind is also used for intellect. So mind is the worst enemy, and when we say the mind is the greatest friend, here it comes to the intellect. I told you, it's a royal secret. It is an open secret. So that is how we have to understand. We have to study based on the commentary, based on the reference by the other teachers. I have a wonderful friend, I don't want to name. He is a neuroscientist in California. And we talk once a month. And he has become a great master of mindfulness. Fundamentally, he is a neuroscientist. So by simply studying few books, so government should also give me a permission to study neurosciences and let me become a neuroscientist. We take yoga just for this. Anyone can do it. There is another guy who is also a neuroscientist. He is known as a great master of meditation and mindfulness. I don't want to say that. I don't want to name that. How dare you become? Then I am also a neuroscientist. I have studied all the neuroscience. But the world outside won't allow me. There is a domination of a particular knowledge. You should understand that. And you should challenge those neuroscientists from where you have studied, what tradition you have followed, which text you are referring to. No, I am referring the medical science and the neuroscience. Forget about it. Now, Atma aiva atmanah ripu. So when we say Atma aiva atmanah bandhu, my intellect is the greatest friend. And the fourth line, Atma aiva atmanah ripu. Ripu means enemy, is the worst enemy. In one Upanishad, Amrit Bindu Upanishad, it says, Manaiv Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayo Bandhai Vishaya Saktam Nirvishayam Muktai Smratam. Why I am quoting this? You see that from one text you understand one point of view. From the other text, now you understand little deeper. So now what this verse, the same couplet, has 4 parts. Manaiv Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayo. Amrit Bindu Upanishad. So what he says, the mind is the cause of the suffering and the mind is the cause of permanent happiness. Now connect these 2 couplets. See? Now he tells that what is the cause? Yeah. Manaiv Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayo. So I'll send you that. Second line, it says, when the mind is identifying itself with the world outside, it is the cause of the suffering. When the mind drops that cause of the suffering, mind de-identifies, then it is the cause of freedom, peace. So you now combine these two. Mind is the worst enemy. Intellect is the greatest friend. So now combine the second sutra. When the mind is running after the world outside, seeking happiness, causes the attachment, and that attachment ultimately results into delusion and suffering. And the same mind is withdrawn inside. It does not identify itself. Where is this identification? Do you understand? We have to pick up everything. Muktai nirvishayam smratam. What is this identification? Find out what makes you stressed, anxious, what makes your mind to blame and complain. There lies the attachment. There lies an attachment. So in Gita we will understand that there are 8 factors which causes the suffering. First is the object outside in the world. Say, for example, I should not refer that example. Later on, you see a smartphone outside, the latest. You have seen it through the mind. The mind says, I like it. Okay? Like it. And that liking continues in the mind in the form of a thought process. Right? So first is the object. Then the second is liking. I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it. And then what happens? The mind is repeating itself subconsciously, habitually. Or it repeats, I don't like it, I hate it, I react it. Both. It happens. That is your responsibility. If you are thinking you like my beard, or you dislike, you will be in problem. I will sleep soundly. So what happens? The object, then the mind starts thinking. See the in-depth psychology. So liking, disliking. So now this liking and disliking causes the desire. Third aspect. First is object. Second is liking or disliking. Third is the desire. What is that desire if you hate me? To keep a distance from me. If you like me, to come near, to attain, to possess, to own. Now what happens? The fourth aspect, because of the desire comes the delusion. What is delusion? What appears true is not true. I always cite simple example. Is sky blue? Tell me. Science says sky is not blue. So after knowing that sky is not blue, still your eyes perceives it is blue. Isn't it? That is delusion. We don't see the truth. That is what happens. We have a crush. I know crush is a very normal, easy word for. We have a crush, then we become a soulmate. Then the liking and disliking starts. Then we become a sourmate. So that is the first instant of crush, liking, disliking. Soulmate, delusion. You understand? So object, likes and dislikes, second, desire, third, fourth is delusion, and the fifth is pride. Pride, ego sense. Sixth is jealousy. I work hard, but my neighbor is always sleeping and he has $1 million. I work hard, I'm constantly running, I don't have money. Jealousy. From where it has come? Because my desire is to have that money. You see, you can pick up and understand your mind at any point of time, and you can get rid of it. That is what the Gita tells. Just laying a foundation. So now 6 elements have done. So because of these 6 factors, you have a loss of memory. What is that loss of memory? And the loss of memory leads to loss of intelligence. You lose the wisdom. What is how to make that loss of a statement of loss of wisdom? I loved you so much, but you cheated me. You did not love. You had a crush. Crush is nothing but attachment. Attachment is not an it is an identification. It doesn't mean that you stop loving. Love is different. We will talk about it. Are you getting it? The essence. So you see the object, liking, disliking, desire, delusion, then delusion, pride, jealousy, then loss of memory, loss of intelligence, loss of wisdom, 8, and that causes suffering. What is that suffering? I loved you so much and now I am suffering. I had a wonderful student in New Jersey, and she was referred to me by another friend, common friend. So I went to her home and she said, okay, I'm taking a divorce, and after that I will invite you to come to my home for counseling and guidance and helping me get rid of the problem, the divorce. Anyhow, after 3 months, she invited me, and then she said, hold on. She went to the kitchen, prepared a cup of coffee, very strong coffee. She drank it, and we were on the patio, backyard. Can you give me 2 minutes more? I said yes. So it's the glass door, and then she smoked 2 cigarettes and then said, now I am ready. So then I asked her that who is responsible for divorce? I am. That guy was crazy. Is my decision coming from the intellect? If it is coming from the intellect, I have a right perception, then I'm not suffering. Even after divorce, you are suffering. And then she started narrating the story of her ex-husband, blaming, complaining. And then she told me after half an hour that now I am ready. 3 sessions, and after 3 sessions I said, no, I'm not doing it. Perhaps you need a little bigger and greater teacher to handle you. Every time coffee, smoking, and then complain, blame. Even after divorce, you still keep your husband inside your mind because of loss of memory, because of your loss of wisdom. I can explain any of your problem, even based on these 8 factors. And once you clearly understand, you know what is the solution. Don't start thinking about your life. You have enough time after the session. in this session only understand the principles. Understand the principles so you can apply. I've been speaking for 40 years. I can make out something from your eyes and the face. That is why I always like you to see your face when I'm speaking. I will not tell anyone, so don't worry. I don't see Alexandra, Alex. So anyhow, we are laying a foundation of understanding. Oh, Bethany disappeared. Her video disappeared. She did not. So anyhow, so you got it, the understanding that this is what the Gita teaches us. In short, this is one way. What the Gita says, I have to lift myself, means I have to become a seeker. Hey, why you are writing me, you are not thinking. I don't know anything. My goodness. Brandy. Everyone is reading you. I did not say anything. Brandy is a very humble. She is very good. I didn't say anything. I think Gita will definitely help you. You see, when I said this, everyone started reading what you have written. See that? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Brandy. I'm very happy. Now you are not blaming me. She is a wonderful woman. I like you. I love you, Brandy. You're wonderful. You see, she just spoke her mind without any reservation. That's why I'm appreciating her. I didn't know whether you have your ex-husband. I didn't know anything. Nobody told me. Very good. But I love you. You are so, your mind is unfiltered. That's where, So now what he says, we will pick up one more sutra. It is the 4th chapter and 34th sutra. 34th verse. So I am putting it. So I think now I have understood. So let me see. We should understand this. So that will make a sense with these two sutras. So when you see that I have written 434, it means chapter 4 and the sutra is 34. So now see that, understand. Tata vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. So now I have understood what I have understood, that I have to take over my life with the intellect, and that intellect should have a power of discernment. We will understand that power of discernment in Upanishad. So that will carry on. And in that state of discernment, I have to approach a teacher of the Eastern wisdom. Means, but how to approach a teacher of the Eastern wisdom? Beautifully explained. Now we say, oh, you're looking at the beard guy, so he's a monk, so approach him. You are a monk. No, that is not the right approach. You see that? That is not the right approach. So Master is saying, what is the right approach? Learn to discover the true nature by approaching a master. Inquire. What to inquire from him? With reverence and render service. I have explained what do you mean by this service. There are many ways to serve the master. Many ways to, but I have written the best service you can do to the master. Such a master can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Now see what I have written. There are many explanations. I have told you a single word in Sanskrit has a multiple meaning. And I have given you the latest, highest meaning. So what he said, Tatuvidhi Pranipaten. Learn the true nature. Learn how to discover the true nature, that is real self, by approaching a master. Your goal is fixed. What is your goal? I have to see my true nature. In that process, I found 100. I approached 100 masters in the Himalayas. And the moment I found this master is making me crazy, I did not say him anything. I left him. I approached the second master. What we do? No, that master made me crazy because you are crazy. Your approach is craziness. No, how can you say you are wrong? There are teachers, good teachers and bad teachers. You go to the Walmart for a laundry service. Will you find there? So when I go to the teacher, my goal is fixed to find the true nature. And the master is guiding me something else. What will I do? I don't find the laundry service in the Walmart. Let me leave him. Approach the other teacher. Why should I blame the Walmart? Why you don't have laundry service? We need that level of humility. I gave a very tough example. Are you understanding? My goal has to be fixed. That makes me a seeker. My goal is not fixed. Oh, forget about it. Look at these monks and teachers. They all are crazy. They exploit you. They charge you a lot of money. Because you are not a seeker, I'll charge you more money. To make you a seeker, first, learning will be different. Yesterday, soulmate couple that called me. They are living in Glendale. Now I have been, sending you email. You are not responding. No, I said no. First session is free. And then they started fighting against each other. Then they asked me the fees. I said only $200 per hour per session. It is too much, I said, because you both are fighting in front of me. I can give you some discount, but I have to rethink. So I normally charge for 10 sessions. Advance. So is it possible for one session? I said it should be 25% more. So we will think of it. We will revert back to you after that. I said, okay. In the mind, I said, continue fighting. Kate is thinking, I should move with compassion and love. Why? Why? Can you move with a compassion, with love to those people whose mind is full of the impurities? even the compassion will be turned against you. Do you see that? That is the message the Gita is giving. Tattva viddhi pranipatin. I have a wonderful friend here, I don't want to name. So, she is known to me for so many years, and still it is difficult for her to understand. Why? Because she could not understand her own mind. So recently she said, I have talked to 5 parents and I want you to give them a free session. I said, okay, done. If Kate and Lara will say, I will do it. That's not a problem. But then she wrote in the email that you know that once you touch their emotional issues, she already guided me what to touch, what issues to touch. And then she wrote me, if you touch those issues, who knows, all the 5 parents will start a regular session. In that way, you can earn more money. Lara perhaps knows who might have written this. I simply did not respond. I organized that session and I simply thumbs up 3 times. I said, that's all. Understand these meanings here. Learn to discover the true nature by approaching a teacher. You are a seeker. If your goal is fixed, you don't change. Then even if you find a crazy teacher, he will enlighten you. Because your goal is fixed. That is the journey of yoga. Inquire. Then what he says, Master says, Krishna says in Gita, inquire from him with reverence and render service. 2 things. Inquire from him. Can you help me in divorce? That's the wrong question, wrong inquiry. If you go to a teacher of the Eastern wisdom and you're asking, can you help me to take a divorce? It's a wrong question. I gave you an example of Walmart. So it means I have to understand, I have to purify the mind first. There should not be a loss of memory. I have to prepare myself as a seeker. The intellect is ready. First part. Second part, render service. Render service in a different ways. Exchanging the money or the wealth and etc. etc. But the best service I have written. The best service is to learn, listen, contemplate, reflect on the principles followed by the practice. Every master in the Eastern wisdom finds if you are a seeker, they don't want to leave you. One parent, last 3 months before, one parent approached me. They both are wonderful. And they said, I have given a gift of Christmas gift of 12 sessions with you. And that kid is hardly 13 years old. I taught her 2 hours, twice a week. Wonderful kid. When I realized that she is grasping everything, I said another 4 sessions are free for you. It takes me another 4 hours, that's okay. But because she is a seeker at this age, I translated some of the principles of Gita in a very simple, easy way. And every time she comes up with a lot of questions. So if I'm not a seeker, nothing can be attained. Forget about it. Such a master can impart the knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth, or he is well versed with the teaching of the scriptures and the text. 2 sutras, 2 verses. 2 verses, what the 2 verses does? 2 verses tells you the entire message of Gita. Are you ready? Are you ready to bring an end to the suffering in your life? First sutra. Now I can have a joke also, whether you have ex-husband or no husband. I can share a joke. She is one rose. That doesn't make any difference. Am I ready? So you see that in the chapter 4, 34th verse, it says, approach a master. Gita. So that Gita, let us... I have already, yes, this part, I remember this, my master, I always remember his teaching. You think of it, first you write down. What I want, I don't get it. Write down. What I want, I don't get it. What I get it, I don't like it. What I like, it does not remain forever. That is another essence of the Gita today. Let us discuss this. I want to be a millionaire. I want. What I want, I don't get it. And throughout my life, I want to be a millionaire. Nothing happens to me. One example. Use another sentence. I'm looking for a soul mate who should be very kind. Come on. First you find that calmness and kindness in you. Then only you can find others. Entire journey is there. I will tell you which sutra, I don't remember, which verse it is in Gita. What I want, I don't get it. Why I don't get it? Because what I am wanting is outside me. And you will always suffer if what do you want is outside you. Done. I want money to survive. Good. But I want to be a millionaire to be happy. Wrong. You cannot buy happiness from the money. You cannot buy peace from the money. So I have to reflect on it. And when you reflect on it, your mind is clear. Am I getting money to survive? Yes. Finished. Continue the journey. See that? You have a smile on your face. So Master says, did you get a food for today? Yes. Forget about tomorrow. You'll get it. Keep your mind free. Remain creative. What I want, I don't get it. What I get, I don't like it. I have a wonderful intellect because I'm a human being. I don't like my intellect. What I like? Craziness of the mind, craving of the mind, delusion of the mind. So live with that delusion. Then who can stop you from suffering? Do you see that? See that point? The direct hitting masses. It is hitting our head. And what I like, it doesn't remain forever. What I like outside, it does not remain forever. I was living in Delhi, in capital of India, in a very humble home on the first floor. My dad was there, long back. Well, long back, I would say 81, 82. Very small home. So in 90, 4 and 5, I became a diplomat, went to Jakarta. And when you are a diplomat, no, those who are diplomats should not feel bad, but my experience of being a diplomat in anywhere, you do nothing as a diplomat, but you get the maximum money and the resources. We are given a royal house with maid. How many hours of service? 2 hours every day. Sometime even 2 hours a week. So, first the humble house is gone. I like that house. Then the royal house, I got it. After 4 years, your job is changed. It's the same democratic country. India. Then I came back to the same house in India. I bought another house. You see, what you like, it does not remain forever. That is what I am explaining. This is one way. And ultimately, we like that house. And 2 years ago, I went to India. I sold that house. But during that period, when I came, I was living in a rented house in New Jersey. We loved that house, compact. Then I bought another house in East Brunswick. I sold that house. And now I am the happiest guy. Why? I am a homeless person. Why? My son bought a house for himself. It is his responsibility. I am only a trustee. I am taking care. I am a trustee. But I am 100% sure that I am not the owner of the house. Why I said this? Once we realize I am not the owner of this body, I am not the body. Body is also a house. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the ego. Then who am I? I am my true nature. I remember one verse and then I'll invite a couple of questions and then we will say Mano buddhir ahankara chittani naham na cha shrotra jivhai na cha ghrana netre na cha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Beautiful verse from Shankaracharya. I am not the body, mind, breath, intellect, and ego. I am none of these 5 sense organs. I am none of these 5 motor organs. I am not the mind, intellect, and ego. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is the goal of yoga. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is the journey of Gita in 2 verses. So let us have any question that you have and then we will. Remember this. What I want, I don't get it. It causes craving. What I get it, I don't like it. Blame, complain, game. What I like, it doesn't remain forever. I have a fear. Honey, I believe you won't leave me. I have seen you talking to someone else. Let him or her talk. Yes. Yes, I will. I have to write, but let me find out in the computer. It is known as. It is known by Shankara. And let's have first question and answer, and then I will. In the meantime, I will find out. It comes spontaneously. Oh. Now I can find out in the Google. It is Nirvan 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 Satkam. Nirvan Sat. Yes, any question you like to ask me? Yes. So perhaps I remember all the 9 verse. So 7 or verse, 9 verse I think. Here is all the 9 verses. Mano buddhir ahankara chittani naham na cha shrotra jivhai na cha ghrana netre na cha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Now see the translation. So I immediately caught him that he has simply written shivoham. The real meaning of Shiva is existence, consciousness and bliss. So it's not the Shiva God or the image of the God. But even he is right. Shiva is the originator of yoga. So both are right. Nacha prana sango na vai panchavayu na va sapta dhatu na va panchakosha na va kapani padam na chapastapayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivam. Like this. So, any question? We can have few questions and then we'll meet next Saturday. Teaching should be a joy. Listening should be a joy. And then only we can easily understand. Brandy, any question?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Bethany?
Not right now, but thank you.
That's right.
I think it's something I'll bug you for sure.
Alexandra. I didn't see Alexandra. Now I want to see Alexandra also.
Hey, I know my internet is barely working today. I guess it's the rain. I don't know, but
Okay. And
at this point, just contemplating more. So I'll
oh,
go back.
very good. Contemplating more. You see, this is good. And John, if you have any question.
Girish, I want to share something funny with you.
Yeah.
So Brandy is responsible for David and Jeree.
Means?
Brandy met David and Jeree together.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
She's responsible.
That's wonderful, Brandy. That's wonderful. Yeah, now they are living beautifully, wonderfully. Yeah. They have.
He's giving you much credit. I was David's yoga teacher, and I moved away, and I said I have a great yoga teacher for you, and then he married her. So it wasn't real. It was really a matchmaker, not on purpose.
Do you have regret?
Pardon me?
Do you have regret?
No, not at all. None.
Okay. No, I just asked you. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's if we help, that is what the compassion is. If we help anyone consciously or unconsciously or habitually or with awareness so that their life becomes better is a good point. Is a good thing.
Okay, Girish, I have a question. So you were talking about how, I don't remember how you phrased it,